Hello, 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 and welcome to this week's lesson of Rising the TFP Within. I'm Novelina, author of The Total Female Package, and super excited to be on this journey with you. We have had quite a ride, and today we are actually stepping into the power of Mirror 11. So this is reflecting your sexual energy openly, and we are going to kick it off right now. So I appreciate those of you who are tuned in. I start this mirror because we've gone on a journey, and I like to kind of recap the journey as, you know, the Total Female Package guidebook is around supporting you, understanding where you are as a woman in your own self-love discovery, and it really showing you the importance of once you actually have a place where you are focused on your own love for yourself, then you have the abundance and the overflow to share with other people you're in a relationship with. And that comes in so many different ways. But really, truly, like the first 2/3 of this guidebook is really to get you succinct on key fundamental ingredients that help you power yourself with that essence of self-love as much as possible. And so that's what we're here and we're doing. Welcome to Val, who's just joined us. Good to see you.
Oh,
Just opened up right now to the intro to this week's Rising the TFP Within. There you go. And we are at now Mirror 11. Last week we were able to tag in and talk about, partnering with, your partnering and celebrating the partnership reflection with men and what that can look like in your own environment, in your life, in your personal life, in your professional life, and the power that really has for us as women to really come from a truly radical empathetic place where we're understanding the opposite sex brain functionalities and how to speak to them and communicate in a way where they feel honored and that they can provide for us and we feel like we're getting our needs met. And so we dove into what that could look like for all of us last week. And so that's why this mirror is the mirror that's next to talk about, because this is, all that salt and pepper, like, sex conversation, which for a lot of us, I think in some respects is like taboo. Some people grow up thinking, I can't talk about sex, and it's so private. And not that it doesn't have to have, or it can have its privacy and its intimate moments, but sexual energy, the combination of the feminine and masculine coming together to co-create a new experience, like that energy lives within all of us. I've got testosterone as well as I have estrogen, and so does every other woman and man out there. It's part of our nature and how we come together to co-create. And so understanding your sexual energy and having an openness around it, for me, I feel like is another essence of owning your worth as a total female package. So I'd love to pass it over to Val to see what her kind of bits of wisdom on this before we really get into the mirror around this idea of reflecting your sexual energy.
Oh, great opening though. Well, I mean, this is I like how you said that this is taboo, because in a lot of households this subject is taboo, or you're online, getting your information, Googling questions, trying to figure it out for yourself, or reading Cosmo and learning the 7 best, sex tricks to, share with your partner. And, there's an abundant amount of information online in terms of referencing sex, but what really fires you up, what personally resonates with you. And I think exploring that through the TFP is really important, because, we're all human, and our sexual energy is a part of our humanistic nature. So, it's fun and it's play, and it comes from, such a, I believe such a magical place in the human body. Whether it's a man or a female, that it's the source, like you said, it's the source of energy that you can tap into and literally put yourself also in a flow state to where you can create anything. I mean, this is the interaction that creates life. So,
Exactly. Yeah.
so in a way, you know, that kind of says it all. Like this is the experience that you can have with your partner, you know, and another human being that is so explosive that you can create life
Yeah.
from that. So, you know, really excited to jump into Mirror 7 and explore with you TFPs on learning about your sexual energy and just reflecting your sexual energy openly and again being in a place that's coming from such self-love that you can express what it is that you want in that area of your life as well.
Absolutely. And that is the perfect place to jump on in. The mirror opens up with a quote by Deepak Chopra that says, "Sexual energy is the primal and creative energy of the universe. All that is alive is born of sexual energy." It's just none of us can get away from it. Everybody is co-creating and procreating out there at some point in their existence. So as women, many of us are not told from an early age it's perfectly natural to explore your sexual energy. Many of us are told to wait until you are in love to experience intercourse, or sometimes even until you're married, or to that one man for the rest of your life. Like that's some, religious beliefs. And I'm not knocking that, but I'm saying those are some of the stories I remember hearing growing up. Oh, you've got to wait for the one. And I know there's other women who've had that, or women have had the opposite. But rarely does anyone ever really pull you aside, or did they when I was growing up, to say, sexuality can be amazing if you really look at it. And before you actually go into sharing any of your sexual energy with another person, why don't you figure out what your own sexual energy is about? And that's what I feel is so empowering about stepping into your shoes as the total female package, because it's like really owning all the areas of your sexual energy for you to get to. This is like another deeper level, like we talked about earlier in Mirror 1, around really looking at yourself in the mirror, your authentic self-reflection, and telling yourself how much you love yourself in the eyes until you're like programmed to really truly believe it in every moment as much as possible throughout the day. And this takes it to a whole other level deeper, because we're talking about, the sexual energy, the pieces of you that make up your essence of your sensuality and your intimacy and your body and the way you look and feel and how you dress, and really to get in tune with yourself. So the first thing in this, the very first concept in this mirror, is to really learn about your body. Like how many times have you allowed yourself to explore your own body? Like, have you actually touched your breast? Have you actually looked at your lips? Have you actually felt like, or tickled the curve of your like legs? Do you know what places on your body actually feel good to you? And all of that is like a collection of information. It's like you getting to know yourself in such a deep, it's like romancing yourself in a way, like really getting to know what pieces of you feel amazing and how you want to be cared for and how you want to be nurtured and how you want to be touched, how you want to be caressed, or do you like your feet rubbed? Do you enjoy massages? Like all of these things about your body that I feel like your responsibility to get to know, because when you do, you become such more of a powerful partner. Whether you're, a partner with the same sex or the opposite sex, you now have valid real life information on what feels amazing to you and what doesn't feel amazing to you to share with your partner. And you could stop all the guesswork and you could stop all the failed attempts, like when you are being connected to each other in that way, like openly, like expressing yourself to yourself can then give you that energy to be able to go, oh, Mr. Romance or Miss Romance, like I actually really love like when you just rub the side of my neck and when you hold me tight, and I love when you put your hand on the top of my knee and how that tickling feeling goes up it gives me butterflies in my stomach. Or I love it when we're making out and then like you pull me really aggressively close to you, like it just kind of like does something inside of me, it riles me up. Like this is the stuff to talk about. Like, this is not the stuff to keep inside. Like, this is the stuff that creates powerful, powerful connections to yourself. You're honoring like your truest desire as well as to your partner. And so when we talk about that, like right now, like think about 3 places that you want to learn about on your body. Like, write what those places are. Like, do you want to know if like you love being touched on your stomach? Do you want to know if you want to be touched down somewhere else that's more private to you? Do you want to be touched, you know, around your arms, on your breast, the way someone kisses you? Like, what is this area about your body that you want to get more in tune with? And then make time to like play with yourself, figure it out, like touch yourself, give yourself that sensual space to get really in tune with what you actually adore about your body and what feels good.
Absolutely. Oh, this is one of my favorite mirrors. All of them are my favorite mirrors, but I was actually very fortunate growing up that my mother and actually one of her girlfriends who I babysat for had a very realistic approach or kind of a concept around sex. So I was actually given my first vibrator at 14 years old. And you know, it was something that, as I share this story, they're like, they did what? But 14, my mom had a very realistic approach. If there's one thing that she did right, it was to kind of just give me the realness to sex. And so, and from that was learn your body. And that's so important. And think of your body like a treasure map.
Yeah.
Like, there are all of these places that you can just strike gold with in terms of, you know, arousing you, you know, tickling, you know, just the sensations that I can set off and trigger, you know, to get you excited or, you know, put you in a place of pleasure. So discover that, play with it, like have that time with yourself that, again, you know, the TFP embodies self-love, and that is a component of self-love because it is a component in the way. Oh, I hope I'm not breaking up.
No,
okay, it's a component that everybody has their own experience too. So when you're with another human being, when you're with your partner, to be able to share what it is you like and what it is you don't like, to give them some guidance, will only amplify what, you know, the experience that you have with them. Yeah. And so, you know, going into to the rest of the mirror, loving every part of your body can make all the difference. And so you are priceless. And there is not one single person on this planet that demonstrates you. Yeah, right. When you take this knowing into loving everything about your body, the possibilities of what can be attracted to you are infinite. And so, you know, it's, again, treat, you know, your body is a temple. Your body is yours, and you know, the shell is yours for your whole for your time on this earth. So treat yourself well. Love yourself, and this is, again, a form of loving yourself, and you know, that really makes all the difference. And so, you know, just kind of rounding out to the on page 113, you know, it's continue this practice, you know, with a part of your body that you discover that you love, whether it's your chest, your stomach, your legs, you know, so forth. You know, practice that. Get familiar with the touches that you really love. And so it just helps you, you know, in all, you know, that it just, you know, it helps you as a TFP that you're born to be owning your sexual energy that can strengthen just your knowing in yourself, and as well as your partnerships. Absolutely. And so, you know, when you enter a partnership with the knowing, you know, and how to best love your body, you can begin to share your likes and dislikes to achieve, you know, your optimal sexual experience, you know, you both desire. Being connected to another person, you know, in an intimate way is one of the most beautiful connections, you know, you are offered, you know, to experience by the universe. So honor yourself in that, you know, honor yourself in that discovery. And as I hope in the sharing of this mirror that the tabooness, you can reframe that to a playful excitedness, to again, just really dive into and discover what is it that you like, and you can experience that openly. So, imagine how much more fulfilled you will be, you would feel, sharing this with an intimate partner, what feels best to you, and then the person, and that person listens to you, to your body in a way that says without words, I hear you, I honor what feels good to you, and we'll be here in this moment with, so that you both can feel this magnificent energy together. And so, the next little exercise is write down 3 actions you can share with your partner to help you experience, to make you feel alive. And I mean, this is a fun one. This is one that you get to play with, and whether it's dressing up in costumes or sexy lingerie or role playing, or this is a great. This is such a great exploration that you can do for yourself. I know being single, I was single for 6 years before my partner popped in the picture. And I would just buy lingerie that I thought, like pretty nightgowns that I liked, and they were on sale, so it's a double win. Because I wanted to have them, and I wanted to feel them on me. And it was kind of a treat to me. And I would imagine one day I'd be with, my beloved, and being able to share, this sexy silky nightgown that I have, and then it, kind of stored away, not for anyone else. Literally, I have a drawer that I have bought in lingerie purely for my own pleasure. So I would challenge you to do the same and treat yourself, because, again, you are setting the standard and the bar for what is that you want, to have in your life as the TFP. So.
Absolutely, here. So those of you who are tuning in, you know that we support you running down to the store, whether it's today or tomorrow or over the weekend, to make sure that you totally spoil yourself with something really sexy and go be a little daring, or like that. There's that little like sex vixen in you. There's a piece of you that maybe you don't always allow to come out, but when you're watching certain movies or you're reading certain novels or you're seeing people out and about, like there's a piece of you that stirs. And so the idea of this mirror is to really allow you to be okay with sharing that part of you that stirs, because it's sexy and it's what you came here to be, a woman. And this is part of like the energy that we hold space for throughout our day. So, it's okay to feel and be sexy and do in a way that promotes respect and honoring for who you are and how you're showing up. And so this next part around in the mirror is around owning your sexual energy and what that meaning has for you in your life. And so it's really that idea that you do not hide who you are at your core from anyone. Like, it's sexy to be so self-confident in who you are. And when you show up in that confidence, it's an aspect of yourself that literally magnifies. Like, it's like it controls the energy field around you. Like, people can't help but notice you when you're owning your own confidence, because it's super sexy for a woman and a man, because you are reflections for both sexes. You are reflections for other women. When you're owning that sexual confidence of who you are, like, women will like pay attention, go, wow, like she's got something. I don't quite know what it is, but we know what it is. It's like that part of you that you're just like, this is all of me, and I'm totally good with myself, and I'm showing up the way I am. And it's like, it's this piece of like your connection to the way that this whole universe works, and that you are totally in faith and trust, and that you came here to be the unique self that you are, and that you are actually taking time to honoring that. So when you can own yourself in this way as a woman, your sexual energy is infusing your spiritual being. It's like you're saying, my spiritual being and my human being in this moment is in alignment. And it's like, how many moments throughout the day can we help you feel that confidence and that way of being, like your most truest essence possible? So that's the part of you that people will pick up on. All that authentic energy that's coming from you is what people will gravitate towards. They will want to know who you are. They will want to know what you're up to. They will want to know how they can get more of you, or they want to know what you like so they can be more like you. It's so interesting to watch once you turn the switch on, all the different places, people, opportunities, things that like come your way. It's quite interesting to experience when like you're paying attention, you're aware of it. And it's a gift. You are a gift, and it's around allowing that gift to be shared and spoken and be lived. And so, you know, if you're thinking, I just don't know, like, I don't know what makes me feel sexy. I'm just not sure. Like, I've never really thought about it until like I read this mirror, or like, what do I do? Like, I'm sure if you take some time and you think about one person in your life, whether it's a fantasy, whether it's like a superhero, like a person on TV, a celebrity, or if it's, you know, someone in your family, like there is some type of woman that you believe is sexy. Like, think about that woman, even if you're like unsure of how to like you tap into it. Think about like what you think about that woman is sexy, and then go, oh, okay, like that to me feels sexy. So then like, how could you actually like turn the table around and go, okay, well, if I think that's sexy, then this is what sexy means to me. So maybe I will go down to the store, or maybe I will go buy myself that gift, or maybe I will, you know, go chat with my girlfriend about ideas where she could help me like navigate some of these thoughts in my mind. And I think like, if you haven't really heard the call within your being in your body yet, it's just because you've been ignoring it, or you've been quieting the voice. I will tell you, for years, I know that I've been a sexual being in the essence of like I've never looked at connecting intimately with a partner as something that's wrong, or you know, something that I've always looked at it. It's a beautiful encounter, and for me it's something that's rare and special. Like, I didn't go out and experience that many times over, and that's okay if you have, but there's something about that intimacy and that partnership, and also about it didn't like amplify for me until I actually went and had experienced a few partners and got to really learn about my own body, what I felt was really sexy. And then when I got really confident in like what I feel is like sexy to me and what feels good to me, and how I like to show up and how I like to feel about certain things, and then I took that into like my partnership, or just took that into my way of being every day, it was like life opened up to me in such a different way. It was like the bee pollinating the flower, like in this like really interesting flow happening all around me. And it was just like, yeah, like I really know what I like and I know what I don't like, and that's pretty sexy. So I wish that for you, and I wish that for, and if you're still questioning like, well, I don't know, like I think you're a little scared to talk about it. I was scared for a little bit. I'm very open, but I remember when I really actually starting to ask those questions of my girlfriends, you know, things that were always in my mind, but I never really like felt comfortable saying out loud. When I got to a point in my 20s where I was like, yeah, I kind of really want to know about this, I started looking at things online, or talking to my girlfriends about their sexual experiences and how they were feeling and how long does it last and what feels good, what doesn't feel good, and start to explore those conversations. Like, it was like a whole other side of the universe opened up for me, and I was like floored by it. And then in my 30s, things just got so much more fun because you're so much more in tune. You're so much more in tune, and you just like go for it. Like, you just know what feels good, whether you're like single or in a relationship. So,
that is, I heard that actually growing up, is that it gets better as you get older, and I attribute that to truly knowing yourself and being aligned with yourself and loving yourself whole and complete.
yep.
And so, you know, being able to be in that place where you can also receive those gifts, you know, not only direct, but I shouldn't say direct, but, you know, be in a place where you can share what feels good to you, you know, with your partner, but also receive. You know, there's the exchange of sexual energy is such a beautiful encounter, and it's like you said, a gift of, giving and receiving. And so, knowing yourself, again, the ins and outs, and what you like, really helps amplify that. And so I love it all, love it all. Love it all. I went to a talk actually this weekend, and somebody, the woman shared, the facilitator shared that, sex is magic. And there is about 3 seconds when you are, or when you're, I shouldn't say 3 seconds, but when you're having your orgasm, you are in such an alignment, with yourself and the body, that that is your time to make a wish also. So I do want to kind of add that in there, that because you're aligned and you're connected with this person, whether it's for the night or the person you love, no wrongs about it. As long as you're in charge of the situation and what feels good to you, and if you're honoring yourself and what it is that you truly want, then more power to you, sister. And the facilitator shared that that's your opportunity to make a wish. And so I would just say, as we're talking about how the universe opens up, because of your way of being, and your way of showing up, with this energy, because you're exuberating confidence. And that's one of the things also too about your sexual energy as a female. It is, whether you play in your masculine or your feminine, when you're in that sexual energy, you are just you're just overflowing, I would think, in this just feminine aurora, of pleasure. And so, what a beautiful place to create, and really kind of just make a wish for what is it that you want also.
That pretty much wraps up Mirror 11 around reflecting your sexual energy openly. This is a powerful mirror, and we did this in stages, right? Like there's a reason why we didn't start off with this mirror. Like, we had to really get you comfortable with like understanding the different aspects of how to love yourself and how to actually like play with the key ingredients of the universe, the keys to the ingredients in our love and appreciation and gratitude and being in the present moment, and having your sexual energy in the flow is like, it's like the most present you possibly can be in that moment. It's like, this is like permission for you to be you, and to like get out of your head and drop into like what just feels so pleasurable to you. And it's something that you deserve. Like, I love what Val said, sex is magic. It totally is. It's like the essence, like what Deepak was saying in that quote. It's like anything that is alive has sexual energy. It's like creative being. It's a thing that transmutes from just this idea into physical form. And when you are in that energy, there's so many things that you're creating in the peripherals and the ether. And I too, like Val, it's so funny. I love that you said that. Like, that's a most perfect time to make a wish to the universe, is when you are like in that place of orgasm, feeling super pleasurable, because there's no resistance. Like when you're in that place, like that's the time to do vision questing. And that's what I actually do. That's one of my little like spiritual elemental like high notes of what is always going down when I'm life mapping with my partner, when I'm life mapping with myself. Like getting to that place of just like high level of ecstasy is like the perfect time to call in the visions of all the things you are attracting to your essence, your beauty of your life, because you are the director. Like you call all the shots. This is your world. Every moment of it is all created by you. So own that, and there's power in that. So we wish you the opportunity to open yourself up more in a way that feels in alignment with your truest core, your essence, your sexual nature, and be grateful for it, be excited about it, be turned on by it. Be in a place of giving and receiving, and have fun and have an adventure. and take care of yourself and love yourself along the way. So thank you for joining us. This is week 11 of Rising the TFP Within. We will be tuning in with you next week for Mirror 12, which I'm super excited about getting to too, because this is around us going through all the phases of us stepping into these shoes. And we've gone through partnerships with men, and we've gone through a lot of ways to love ourselves and be open with others. And now this is all about being a servant sister. How next you can really lean into really truly serving your fellow sister who is on the same journey as you, no matter where she is in the world, no matter what dogma, patterns, culture, like inside, we're all having the same conversation. So see you next week.
Next week.